What's up everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial today, we're going to run through a really cool little hack. I think you're going to like this one. Now, a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning. I can't take full credit for coming up with this method. This was something that I saw quite a while ago now when I was browsing through Reddit one day, and I thought to myself, that's actually really cool. I'm going to try that, and then promptly forgot about it. But I was reminded of it recently when fellow MVP Mark Proctor, there he is just there, posted this video. And it's a really cool video. I'll leave a link to the original in the comments section if you want to check that out. But I wanted to take the formula and I wanted to modernize it for 2024. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, what exactly are we going to do? Well, cast your eyes on this spreadsheet. Now, the information that you can see in here is kind of incidental. I've just put it there just to make the spreadsheet look a little bit more realistic. Now, what we're aiming to do in this lesson is I want to be able to change the tab name of the worksheet and have it create a corresponding title in cell B1. So if I change the worksheet name to summary, I want it to automatically input summary into cell B1. So we're effectively linking the worksheet tab name with a cell, and this cell is going to be the heading of the worksheet. And the best news is that we can do all of this simply using Excel formulas. We don't need to use VBA.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click up in cell B1. So this is the cell where we want the title of the worksheet to be. Now, the first thing we need to do here is we need to use the CELL function, which you may or may not have come across before, to output to cell B1 the entire folder path where this workbook is located. And this is a really simple formula. So we're just going to type in equals and we're going to use cell. Now, mine's so huge because I have formatting applied to that cell, but don't worry about that so much. Let's press tab because the cell function has numerous different things we can select underneath that info type argument. Now, we're definitely not going to go through all of these. The one that we want in this particular lesson is the file name argument. So let's select it, press tab, comma, reference. This is basically just the cell where we want the title to appear. Now, the cell where I want the title to appear is the cell that I'm currently typing in. So I can't select it with my mouse, so I just need to type in B1. Now, if we close this formula and hit enter, let's check out what we get. We get a big long folder path of where this workbook is located. Now, I've got this saved in numerous different subfolders. My file explorer is a bit like a rabbit warren, but if we scroll across, what you should find is that right at the end of this big long folder path, we actually have the worksheet name. So see, it says sheet 1. If you look down at my tab name, that's also sheet 1. Now, we need the sheet name for this formula to work. So the next part of this formula is basically to extract from this big long folder path just the sheet name. Now, how might we do that? Well, if you thought about using text functions, then you would be correct. We can use text functions to find the last closing square bracket and extract everything after that. And that's going to give us the sheet name. Now, there are a couple of different ways that you could approach this, and it really does depend on the version of Excel that you're using. Now, I'm going to show you two methods which will cover anybody who's using Microsoft 365 and people who use Excel 2021. But let's take a look at the first method for doing this for Excel 365 users. I'm going to go back to cell B1 and we're going to go up to the formula bar because we want to extract everything after that closing square bracket. So if you're using Excel 365, we have access to the newer text functions, and one of those is text after. Now, the arguments of text after text. Well, the cell formula is providing the text that we want to extract from. So that's all good. Let's click at the end, comma. We can now provide the delimiter where we want to extract all the text after. So for us, that was that square bracket. So we need to put that in quote marks. Let's do a square bracket like that. And that is it. We don't need any of the other arguments. We can close this formula off, hit enter, and check out what we have in cell B1. We have sheet 1, which is exactly the same as the tab name. And the coolest part about this is where the magic happens, is if I was to go down here and change this to summary and hit enter, it's going to update the title of the workbook automatically. So if you're using Excel 365, this is your method. Now, what about Excel 2021 users? Now, you guys unfortunately don't have access to the text after command. So in order for you to do this, your formula is a little bit more complicated. And we're going to set this up to make it as efficient as possible by using let and mid. Now, if you've never used let before, or you've taken a quick look at it and it looks very scary, don't worry, stick with me, we're going to explain it. So let's delete our formula, and we're going to start this formula in exactly the same way. So let's just go for cell. We're going to select file name, and we want to output it into cell B1. So far, so good. Everything is exactly the same. Now, we still want to extract everything after that closing bracket, but we don't have access to text after. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go up to the formula bar, and we're going to make this a little bit taller because we've got a big old formula to put in here. Now, I'm going to start with let. Now, don't get scared. Bear with me. It will all become clear. I'm going to press Alt Enter to put my cell formula on the next line. This is kind of proper notation when you're working in Excel formulas. Now, why are we using let? And if you've never used let before, you might not even know what let is. Well, in its most basic form, let allows us to effectively name things. So in this example, instead of typing this out again throughout my formula, I can give this whole formula a name. So let's call this path name, comma. So now if I wanted to reuse the cell part of this formula again later on, I could just type in path name to recall it. And this is useful because I am going to have to repeat cell file name B1 twice more in this formula. So now, because I've set this up as a let, I can simply type in path name instead, which is a lot more efficient and a lot easier. Maybe not easier if you've never used let before, but let's stick with it. Let's learn something new. So let's click at the end here, comma. I'm going to do Alt Enter because now we're going to go into the mid function. Now, mid is a text formula. It generally allows us to extract text from the middle of a string, for example. So the first argument here is the text that we want to extract from. So our text is in cell B1 and it's being generated by this cell formula. So this is what I mean. If I didn't set this up as a let, I would then have to go back in and start to type the formula again. So cell file name B1. I don't want to do that. I want to type in path name instead. So much easier. Now, the starting number. This is the part of the formula where we need to find that closing bracket. Now, you can use find or you can use search, whichever one you prefer. So let's go for search. Why not? We want to find the closing bracket, and then we need to say within which text. So again, we're looking for the closing bracket in that long folder path that's being generated by that cell formula. So at this point, I would need to type in cell file name B1 again. This is why let is useful, because now I've named it, I can simply type in path name. Now let's close the bracket, because currently if I was just to press enter here, that mid function is going to extract everything after that square bracket, but it's going to include the square bracket in its extraction. So to stop it from including, we just need to move it along one character. So we're going to do a +1, comma, number of characters. So what's the number of characters that we want to extract? Well, we could name our sheet anything. But there is a maximum limit when it comes to the number of characters you can use in a sheet tab name, and that is 32. So we're just going to put 32 on the end there. We're going to close off mid, and we're going to close off our let. Let's hit enter, and you can see we get exactly the same result. So if I now go down and change the tab name to versions, hit enter, everything is working nicely. So this is a much longer formula for Excel 2021 users than that short text after formula in Excel 365. But this did give us a good opportunity to practice let as well. So if that's new for you, then maybe you've learned something in this lesson. If you'd like me to do a longer lesson on let so we can really dive into it, then let me know down in the comments. Now, the final thing I want to mention in this video is a question that I get all the time when I'm showing this. And that is, okay, this is great. I've set it all up, but what about when I add a new worksheet? Well, when we click on plus at the bottom, notice that in cell B1, there's no formula. So it doesn't copy the formula across. So if you do want to reuse this across multiple sheets, the way that I would do this is I would simply copy the worksheet. So you can hold down Control, drag and drop, and then you still have the formula in there. Alternatively, you could set this up on multiple sheets and save it as a template. But I think that's a pretty cool little trick, and the thing I like most about this is that it's automation without having to actually go into VBA. So what do you guys think? Let me know if you've tried this. And as always, like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff, and I will see you next time.